The first guest tonight. Do I have hints about the first guest tonight? Do I ever have hints? This is from one of their former interviews.
Cool.
This man said something. So scintillatingly hilarious that the person interviewing him responded.
Cool.
To that effect.
Cool.
This is one of the funniest men I've ever interviewed and spoken to.
Cool.
This is not a slight on this guy. This guy was surrounded by so much energy, he didn't know how to respond. This was a shocked cool. That's how funny this guy is. People have been asking as well why I don't do the whole video chat. This is not a professional studio. It might look it. I have not got a powerful enough laptop. I just flip the flow. And the gap the flip the food into you and the back flin about. You getting what I'm putting down here? I haven't got the power or the time or the money right now. So it's on the phone. All right, which phone am I going to grab? Why have I got two? Let's give this guy a call. Again, that hint.
Cool.
Okay.
Ubiquitous.
Okay, is anyone guessing who that is yet?
Ubiquitous.
Oh, grief. That was a absolute giveaway, that one. Do 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 do. Da 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 da.
Billions of John.
Oh, look at that.
Ubiquitous synergy seeker.
Oh.
Ubiquitous synergy seeker.
Yes.
Ubiquitous synergy seeker.
Yes.
Ubiquitous synergy seeker.
Yes.
Ubiquitous synergy seeker.
How you doing? Jason Parsons of Ubiquitous Synergy Seeker, otherwise known as the Human Kebab.
Well, first and foremost, I wouldn't be a humble human being if I didn't give you a warm happy birthday to you, John Williams, on your special day.
Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate your time because it's, what is it, 11:20 in Hong Kong? Sorry, that's where my sister lives. It's 11:20 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada,
Yeah.
the world. Yes.
That's right. It's 3 hours ahead of beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Vancouver Island. And I'm going to tell you, I was apprehensive of stepping outside on my front porch because I thought that it might be too loud, but it is deadly quiet in this city for the first time in my entire life.
You're out on the street having this conversation.
Yes, it's beautiful.
I can't hear anything.
Mm.
Seriously, just hold the phone up for a second. I know this is silly, but just hold the phone up.
Okay,
this
check
is
this out.
downtown Toronto right now.
Okay, ready? Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. There's nothing happening.
That is utterly bonkers, man.
Yes. Yeah, it's I mean, it's the whole world is feeling it, but it's just been fascinating. Like you can reach Yonge Dundas Square, which is the epicenter of the entire city, which I would argue is the busiest intersection within Canada, and you can reach there from anywhere in the city in 10 to 15 minutes. This is like the slowest it's ever been here.
Wow. Well, I'm really pleased to hear that because certainly there's a lot more cases out east, and it's nice to hear of the responsibility over there. Wow, that is bonkers, man.
Yeah. I know for a while British Columbia was ahead of Canada, but then Ontario, I mean, obviously with our population, and then Quebec to a lesser extent, we took on our own boatload of them. But I mean, people here are optimistic. You know, all things considered, it being a big city, like people are self-isolating and doing what they can and trying to go on with their lives and stay positive, which is all we can all do. So.
Yeah, and I mean, so you've been so wonderful in sending some interesting, quirky things this way to Live From My Bachelor Pad. So you definitely are going all out into your creative realm. Is that how we'll phrase it? To stay
sure.
as sane as possible?
Well, you know, when I've seen you selling Rolexes on Facebook, cutting your hair off, dyeing your hair, decorating your own studio, looking like you have the biggest podcast in Western Canada.
I do.
How can I not?
Yeah.
How can I not be inspired?
Well, that's very kind of you. I don't know if you've noticed the picture I've put up on, no, because you're on the phone, but on the stream here, I've got that picture of you dressed up as this program that I've yet to take in, and I'm afraid I won't be taking in any of it beyond the trailer. This crazy tiger thing. I don't know. What's this crazy tiger, dude? It's everywhere, and I honestly, I should know the name, but I don't care for it, and I'm not going to get into it. But what are you?
Yeah.
What? That's the picture I've got as you right now, giving us a peace sign. Jason Parsons, a.k.a. Human Kebab of USS, and you're dressed up in your cheater outfit with your blonde hair.
Yes, that was me as posing as Joe Erotic, which is my version of the Tiger King.
Joe Erotic. Okay, Joe Erotic. Let's try something. Bear with me.
Sure.
Bear with me a second here. I'm just switching over to the old looper machine pedal.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see what's erotic. I need red lights around me. I've got red lights in here. As you know, this studio is pretty high end, and that contains red lights that you could buy for $15 from Costco. Thank you, Costco.
Boy, and I hear that Rick Rubin is appearing next on the podcast, so you have it dressed properly.
Okay, let's get sexy. Okay.
Let's get really sexy. Okay.
Maybe I want to start with a bit of this. Okay. Okay, let's keep it sexy. What would a sexy man do? Hang on a second. What's the music that you're parodying? What was it? Country, jazz? What was it doing?
Yes, it was country.
Okay, because I've seen the Mercules rap thing that's hilarious and very funny without having watched any of it, but it's a country thing.
Yeah, Joe Exotic. While he was running his Tiger Kingdom, he also did country music and used his husband to act as a character in the video.
Oh boy, this is a lot to take in. Okay, let's see if I can get real sexy for a second. Something country inspired. Okay, all right.
Sure.
Okay, something sexy and country inspired. Dun 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 dun. Okay, all right. Let's go with a 130 tempo here. Okay.
I love that, man. It's like you're gonna serve me up Nelly and Tim McGraw.
I'm gonna try and do something. Just shut up, okay? Okay, wait. Where is it?
Go. Ubiquitous energy seeker.
Welcome. Okay, something. Here we go. Meow, 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 meow. Hopefully that's in time, yo. Meow, 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 meow.
I'm a tiger.
I'm a tiger.
Feel threatened by my presence. Feel threatened by my presence.
You're not particularly scary. You're not particularly scary.
Wow.
You're not particularly scary. All right.
Okay, all right. Let me just. There's one more thing that we're missing here. How much reverb is too much reverb? Roar! Lions roar, tigers don't meow. Now, I have no idea if that's going to fit in, but we'll just see.
You're not particularly.
Roar! Lions roar, tigers don't meow. Yeah.
You're not particularly scary.
True that. Okay, there we go.
Go. Ubiquitous energy seeker.
That one's just for you, Jason, for whatever ridiculous crap you and all those other people that, around the world, and I'm all of a sudden insulting millions upon millions of people for watching whatever that Meow Meow Cat show is. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go. Let's check in on the comments. Jason Parsons, a.k.a. Human Kebab, from Ubiquitous Synergy Seeker. Welcome, Katie and Paul and Shelley, and also Kirsten and Kurt. Thank you very much for the kind words. Today is my birthday. How did you all know that? Because I made it part of the title of the video.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I'm going to flash up some wonderful pictures now of... This is actually going all the way back to May 29th, 2011. USS...
Oh, my God.
Oh, jump in if you're going to continue and be cute. Jump in.
Earlier today, I was on a massive walk here in Toronto, and I was thinking about 9 years ago. This May is when we first met when we were on our Proof tour.
You are correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And I've just put up a wonderful picture where you were in the weekend zone with me, and it's the most awkward family portrait. With you on, you remember the one when you were on your knees and did that really strange "I'm not a real boy" smile, and then Ash is sort of half crouching, and I'm sort of the daddy over the top with the elephant shirt on. It's just so ridiculous.
See, John, like you have to realize that you entering the fold in Victoria at the Zone and being a Brit coming to Canada with your unique and quirky take on how we should all perceive ourselves in radio was a perfect compliment to Ash and I, because we're always looking to connect with people that are on that level where they just don't care. They just have fun with anything and everything they can.
Well, we care, but it's a scandalous. It's just it's open books.
Yeah.
There's no uncharted territory. Let's find where that uncharted territory is. Let's have a conversation and push the boundaries of it. And I instantly loved that, and it was really relaxing because you essentially were, after a couple of local bands, you were my first out of town interview. Period at the Zone ever, and that was the the first one, man. That's bonkers.
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy, man. And like, we never forgot that. And I think that's why we've maintained a friendship for almost 10 years now and continue to follow your creativity and shenanigans. And I'm so glad that you're still there and that you are branching out and doing other things and bringing new people into the fold. Because one thing that at radio that it's refreshing when we end up in Victoria and we come to see you at the Zone is that you guys have so much ownership in not only the music, but the artists, and you have your own take on it, and it's all smiles and everyone's having a good time. And it's not this big city where there's traffic and people are late and everyone's stressed out. It's like you get to Vancouver Island and you're just coasting as far as you can. So, enter a guy like you where it's, we have intelligent conversations, but we also have the most asinine talks in history.
Yeah. You remember the contest we did that afternoon to give tickets to the show?
Wait, remind me.
You remember the one where we got people to beatbox to see if they could match your beatbox?
Dude, and yes, and because of you, because of that, you remember.
Oh, I remember what you did next. You took that out east to those flipping radio people out east and started using ideas that totally you were allowed to do because it wasn't groundbreaking at all. But yeah, no, I appreciate.
No, I remember. Yeah, and I can't.
You took it to Halifax, Live 105 Halifax. You took it to the Edge in Toronto. I know where you've been. I know what you did last summer.
And I shouted you out. I was like, John Williams from 91.3 The Zone.
Yeah. It was adorable, actually. You gave me a heads up from about an hour heads up. So I was streaming Live 105 in Halifax while I was doing the afternoon show in Victoria, being like, well, he's a man of his word and we'll find out right now. We'll find out right here, right now. And you did,
dude. Because you could go around Canada and just be the radio guy on the road that follows. Like you could go with Queens of the Stone Age, and every time they get to a new city, you do the beatbox challenge.
If Josh Homme called me up and said, "Hey, when this all blows over, you're our guy. I don't want to be the Apple broadcaster anymore. I want it to be you." I'll do that. I have his band artwork tattooed on my arm. It's one of my favorite bands of all time. That's probably why you said that. Now, oh no, you didn't. Perfect. Okay, good. I'm giving off the vibes. That's good.
Cool.
Wow.
Ubiquitous synergy
but
seeker.
Dude, that's how people start their own franchise of like ideas and information exchange. Is that like a guy like you with your personality and ideas, and you're a good hang with artists. You come into the fold with just a microphone in hand and just your charisma, and you just like hit Dave Grohl with the concept, and he's like, "I'm in. Let's do it." Every city on this tour,
dude. Make it happen. Thank you so much. My new manager, everyone, Jason Parsons.
Ubiquitous Synergy Seeker.
Ubiquitous Synergy Seeker Systems, Talent Inc.
Cool.
Really appreciate that.
Did you know that when Kelowna was invented, they flipped a coin? They're going to call it Perfuma or Kelowna, and they picked Kelowna.
That's where I got.
That guy is. Yeah.
This is where I got all these sound effects from an interview you did with another English guy in Kelowna, and I just lifted a few sound effects from it this afternoon to put on my pad here. And
university joke turned alias, and it was the first time in 8 years. I don't know. I just thought it'd be interesting to keep it, especially because we're an alternative rock band. It's like they do, don't they? Wow, that's amazing. No, in all seriousness, I'm proud of it. So whatever.
Cool. What's he saying? No, I can't lie to you. I messed with that. I chopped up about 15 minutes worth of interview into 20 seconds there, and that's all out of context. But
that's so cool, man. It's like you got me in stitches over here.
Good, because the whole point of this Live from My Bachelor Pad is to support our community and friends no matter how big and how far away and create smiles. That's why I've got a picture up on the screen right now of when you surprised me and said, totally just come and jump on my shoulders and casually I'll grab your leg and scratch a record at Rifflandia, English dude that I'm getting to know quite physically and personally once you've done this act with me.
Dude, that was the best. That was when we headlined the side stage. Colorado was on before us, and all these people showed up. We had no idea, and it was crazy. Your timing couldn't be better. And I wore a Cancer Bat shirt. I remember that.
Yeah, that's the picture I got up right now. It's a really great shot by, I can't read the graphic, Meg Super Photography or something. I've got a couple of them because people took shots.
It was either Crystal Beeman from Nanaimo or you would have told me if it was Webmeister Bud.
Yeah, exactly. I would have said for sure. Oh my goodness. What is the plan then? I mean, I'm just flashing through pictures for people that are watching of you being in the zone in May 2011. And what is the plan for you? Because I like you just cheekily reworked Stationary Robbery of late. Oh, I've taken down your name. Let me put that back up. I mean, people know who you are from that picture. The name needs to be there. So you remixed Stationary Robbery, which was fantastic. Why did you do that? What was the impetus behind that? What was the thought process?
Because Ash and I with USS are at a point now where we're putting out an album every 3 years, and all is good and well on that front. But I'm still constantly grinding at creativity. And last fall, I just started sending beats around to my team, and I sent them some old rap songs, and they were like, these are actually pretty good. What are you thinking about doing? And I was like, maybe I'll do like Pencil and Bezel, which is Stationary Robbery Part 2. And and I had it almost completely finished. And then I thought, well, you know what? If I'm going to start back on to a rap wavelength, which I hadn't done since 2007, why don't I start with a song that I had that became a USS song, and then basically remix it and make a video for it, because we never did that as USS. So I chose Stationary Robbery, went back to the original format, and I actually, the guy that made the beat for it produced almost half of our new USS record. And it just made sense. Like last November, it happened in like 2 days. Like I recorded the vocals at my house, he made the beat, and then I sent it off to a video director, Rich Meisner out here in Toronto, and he's been to Victoria with us a few times, and he put the storyboard together instantly, and we filmed it like 3 weeks later here in Toronto, and it was done, and it was like, wow, okay,
that's
so here
quick.
we go. Yeah, it's I mean, that's kind of the world we live in over here, but it's just like, I mean, nowadays, like,
we've got computers. Wow, the cheek of this guy. Fun fact about British Columbia, Canada, the world, Jason Parsons, is that we have one of the biggest tech sectors in the world in BC. We got computers over here, East Coaster.
You know what? I actually heard that. My friend Paul told me, because he's a guy from here that went out there for tech. I thought he was going out to a paper and pulp mill. You know what I mean? But no, he was going out for tech.
I love that your friend Paul is obviously the proof checker of everything that anyone says. Lovely. Good evening to Paul for when he watches this later on and checks everything that I got wrong.
Yeah, that's right. But I mean, you know, I like hip hop music. Like that's why, you know, I've always been drawn to it, is that it happens very quickly. And if you're someone that's like quick on the mic, and whether it's really serious or you're into poetry or like spoken word or just being funny, like it's just such an easy way to get your energy out. And I would fully love to put out a record and just see where it goes, just because I could do it and because it's fun, you know. And like that to me, like that's the point of USS. That's the point of my DJ, and like that's the point of me getting into hip hop, is that if it's still fun, then keep doing it.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And to tack on to the solo adventures and well, I mean, it's not solo adventures. You've always been doing the DJ and creation stuff on the side, but yeah, make that. And you're at your best when you are having fun, because that's what has always made the USS sound so unique, is that it's never subscribed to anyone else's. I don't mean to say that it's never subscribed to anyone else's influence or or direction because you're inspired by someone else and their work. I mean, like it's just, you know, when you hear a beat, at least I know if someone was to play me 100 beats, I'd be able to pick your one out because there's just this extension of your personality in the music, which is a trait of every band.
Oh, cool.
But for you,
Right.
big time, like, you know, when you think, come on, if you're being very polite, and I don't need to be rude to people, but if you were to go through, let's say, 100 songs that get sent to radio, 50 of them are going to have a very similar time signature. That's obvious. And same chord structures. There's all the songs different ways around. There's not much way of making things new right now. But the beat patterns, you could say, oh yeah, that's Alex the Kid, or that's this guy or that guy, maybe. But when it comes to bands serviced through, in my experience, the last 10 years, you know when it's a USS beat, whether it's this is the best, the more heavier side of things, or whether it's the anti-venom, more aggressive, let's go dance party. Sometimes people might do mushrooms, whatever it might be, it stands out and you know who it is. However, I've changed my lighting in here because I heard you say the word poetry.
Yes.
And for those that have joined us recently, good evening to Jeff and to Morgan and to Lindsay, Alex, Dean, Mr. Nishimura. Thank you for your positivity. I appreciate it. Nancy and My Chosen. Love My Chosen Cafe. Good evening to Nancy and her colleagues there. Catherine, hello to you as well. Eric, Rick, good evening to you both. You earlier, Jason Parsons of USS, said poetry. You're also, for those that have joined us recently, and I've just shouted out a wealth to you, and so I don't need to do it again, Brain. Why are you looking at that side of the screen? Focus on the task in hand. I'm surrounded by things that are shiny. That's nice. So going back to my point here, you said poetry. You're out on the streets of Toronto.
Yeah.
Where it's quiet. Hold that phone up again. For downtown Toronto sounds like what?
Like this. Ready? Ready? Like it's completely silent out there.
So nuts. Okay. So bear with me a second here. Bear with me a second here. I'm just going to layer up a beautiful bed because I'm going to give you about a minute to maybe 2 minutes, depending how long I flap about and do whatever I'm doing next. I don't really know what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and make it happen, and then I'm going to give you 2 minutes here to think of what you'd like to get off your chest, poet laureate style. This will be the poetry corner with Human Kebab in just a few minutes. Let me get ready here. Definitely going to need reverb. Okay. Do I lay down? Do I lay down this first? Probably going to lay down this first. Okay, let's go. Something loving, something so loving and poetry. Okay, all right. Headphones up a bit. There we go. A little bit more like that. Okay. Da, 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 da. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I still don't really know.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
That needs to be lower. That's got to be lower. Let me just reset that track.
Oh yes, real cool. Okay. I thought that was my mic. Wrong one. Remix. No, that's lame. Fading up and down is not how you DJ. Stop doing that, people. All right. Okay. So let's just check.
Dude, that sounds like Kanye's services on Sundays in LA.
Well, man, let's go. It's Jason Parsons, a.k.a. Human Kebab of USS in Toronto, where it's so silent right now, sharing his emotions.
Yeah. My emotions. When the ocean doesn't work here, I go to the lake. There's a Great Lake. And I won't fake you about it because that's not my take on this life. Civilization every single nation is touched by this pandemic thing. Let's not call it a thing. Let's call it something, because it once was, came across, went backwards and forwards and left and right back to the thing, because it's everything. It's affecting each and every one of us. Oh, you can't trust it, like Public Enemy said in 1991. And I'm still having fun. And I got John Williams on the phone, and it's his birthday, and he's not a dud. He's actually a stud, and he's a spud because he's like a potato that's been growing for 9 years in Victoria. Victoria, Latin for victory. Oh man, it's history in the making. It's the future. It's everything I ever wanted when I didn't want to be neutered, because I care about John. I care about Victoria. I care about victory. Hallelujah, Gloria.
Hallelujah. Glory. Hallelujah. It's glory. In the city of Toronto, they got human kebabs, yeah.
Yeah.
Jason Parsons of Ubiquitous Synergy Seeker, welcome to Live from My Bachelor Pad with myself, John, where I live here because it's my bachelor pad. Thank you very much. Yes. My goodness gracious, I'll turn you down. Distorting us, you're distorting us. My goodness gracious, man. That was brilliant. Thank you. Oh my goodness, that was cool.
Dude, you still have 3 hours left of your birthday. You have to enjoy every minute of it.
Yeah, no, that's... Have you ever done anything like that before, where you sort of freestyled over the phone?
Over Kanye West Sunday services in Los Angeles? No.
Hang on a second. Kim? No. She's camera shy today.
Oh,
it's totally not. I was hoping. Oh, it's too late now, isn't it? So what time is it with you now? 11:46.
Correct.
So
correct.
Kyla says clap, 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 clap. I'm not sure if you were trying to find a dolphin emoji, but either way, thank you. I appreciate that. Or if you just type in it, it's nice. Jade says happy birthday. Thank you. How did you know? Catherine, love the lighting. Thank you. I have 16 different colors and 4 variant shades from within each color stand or strand or sprand. I'm not sure which word is technically accurate in this moment.
You know what, Mr. Birthday Boy, Mr. Bachelor Pad podcast, I've had a question for you since about Christmas time.
Nice of you to reach out.
No, because I wanted to do this in person or on the phone. I wanted to ask you, because you went home to the UK for the holiday season this year, I noticed.
4.5 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. So when was the last time you went home for that long?
7. Well, I've not been home for more than 2.5 weeks since I moved here. So that was the longest in the 10 years. It's 10 years this June that I moved here.
And then how many times did you go home in those 10 years?
I think it's probably 1, 2, 3. I'm going to say 5. Every couple of years. It was pretty heavy at the start because my sister got married, had a kid, another kid. Yeah. And then I just went for a Christmas. And then I think there was a 4. This most recent one was a 4 and a bit year or a 4.5 year gap. Yeah.
Okay. So that was the first question. So 4.5 years in, to me, that would make you basically a quintessential, like, transplanted Canadian person. A Brit living in Canada, but now you're here. Like, you've been here long enough that you're, like, a part of the ilk. Like, you're like, in the common thread of Victoria on Vancouver Island at this point. Like, 4.5 years gap, like, the 9 years, 10 years. Let's call it 10 years.
Okay.
Like, you're a Canadian. So, when you went back for this stretch, so let's call it 5 years that you hadn't been home for a stretch, how did it feel this time going home?
It did feel a bit like I was on a holiday where I knew that the spa resort was going to be the only place I would go. And the resort was filled with some of the most important people in my life, mum, dad, brother, and sister and her husband and their 2 kids. And it was yeah, it was just the 10 of us, and then seeing my cousins and any extension of family, and my 2, 3, 4 best friends up in London for a couple of nights. But I basically, for 4 of the 4.5 weeks, didn't leave the hamlet, the miniature village that my parents live in. Just soaked up as much family time as possible, man, as much as possible.
And it obviously it was incredible. And then you left and you got back to it. When you got back to Victoria, did you feel like you were coming home?
Yes, it's interesting. I still don't. My heart hasn't still really decided what's up. I think my soul feels most at ease here, and it obviously yearns and misses my family tenfold. And then I do find when I go back to England that other than the people that I love there, I just find it to be just a little bit much, you know, especially when you go to the bigger cities. It was amazing to grow up there, but I think I've gotten used to I'm still annoyed when people drive so bloody slow here. People in Victoria are like, we must go everywhere at 20 kilometers per hour. If I go 25, honey, I'm going to get a nosebleed. Whatever you do, where are we? At Oak Bay? Do 18 here. Do 18 kilometers here. I'm behind them going, okay, you guys, if you convert that to mile per hour, all right, I may as well get out and walk by you. What are we doing here? Yeah. I may as well push my Ford Econoline past you, and that's still faster than... Anyway, look, I didn't mean for this show to turn into a rant. So it was very nice to go back for 4.5 weeks. And to answer your question, Victoria, and I've been toying... it's funny as well, I've been toying with this in my head since Christmas. This is home to me. I adore this island. I adore Canada. There's still a lot of things, like in England, that Canada as a nation needs to sort out. And that is a part of why, and I'm not going to get into it, but that is a part of why I'm not a citizen yet. I don't feel that I should be a citizen when I share a land with people that aren't even regarded as that when they were the OG, one might say. So I'm quite comfortable doing my 5 years of work permits, and I've been at the zone for 10 years. So the paperwork is 2 pages, really easy to do it. It's like getting a new photo license it's like a new driving license. You get a new photo every 5 years, say when you've been and gone. You're still at the same job. You haven't tried to fleece the tax man. You restamp, you carry on. You can do that for eternity. And from the employment bracket that I'm in, and we're learning now and I mean, I've known this for several years because of my work permits, but radio is in the same grouping as the doctors and those that are fighting the front line right now, because it's a form of government message. It's a form of spreading effectively and quickly. And so that's why I'm very fortunate that I'm secure in my job. For now, as best I know, you know, Jim Patterson got where he is because he had to do what he had to do, and it's a strange financial time. But as best as I know, I'm comfortable, and all I can do is, and all we all can do is just the best we can in these moments. My job is to try and connect as many in the community and spread joy and spread grounded, sensible, focused, detailed analysis of what experts are saying to spread the wellness of how we can treat ourselves and each other to get through this strange time. And I just kind of feel like, without sounding like a brat about it, I feel like this is what I was born to do. I was born to be that Good Morning Vietnam, Robin Williams inspiration to me in this moment, to just spread as much flipping cheer as possible, to goof out and to lead by example in saying you're allowed to share that you're not feeling great today. And then at the same point, 10 minutes later, you're allowed to make a joke about farts and cry in laughter about it. You know, all we can be is as real as we want to be moving forward. And the more of us that do that as we are in these last few years as a world evolving to that mindset, the better, especially in these moments, because it's wonderful now to see so much joy and not so much complaint.
Yeah, no, and just to complement your point and what your role is and how you've stepped into it and you understand the value of it. Driving around Toronto, listening to radio right now, and I was having this discussion with somebody that works at 102.1 The Edge in Toronto here a few days ago, and I said to him, "You guys have this like civic responsibility now to the rest of us, where we go to the radio for that place of comfort that we've had our whole lives, and at times maybe we've taken it for granted, or we're stuck in traffic, or we're annoyed, or we're having the time of our lives, or we're working our asses off. Now you guys are the voice to the music that brings us back to that time when we could go to Rifflandia, and we could go to Edgefest, and you could go over to Vancouver and see a show at Rogers Arena, or like here in Toronto at Scotiabank, or like you go to a sporting event and there's music, and it's like people are going to that place right now where they're not only listening to the music, but when they turn on the radio, they get the human voice that's telling them that Oh, everything's going to be okay. Oh, here's a joke about Tiger King. Here's the weather forecast. Oh, here's what I've been doing in self-isolation, and people relate to it. And it's a really important time for people like you to be that Good Morning Vietnam voice of rationality, reason, respect, and obviously humility for the rest of us, because we're all out here doing the same thing. Like, one thing that I've come to really appreciate about this time of being a Canadian and being in this pandemic is watching the layers of society peel back and peel away, where nobody's better than anybody. Like, we're all in this together. We're all equals, even though we can't see each other, only on our smartphones and our computers. We're all the same. And some of us, though, still have to serve a role. Like you said, the frontline healthcare workers. It's really interesting, man, because your role in radio and even doing this Bachelor Pad podcast, like day in and day out, week to week, much in the same way of me dropping these DJ mixes like Boitano on Mixcloud, the messages I get from like doctors and nurses and cops where they're like, dude, like, I have 2 kids and I have to come home off of the force in like Hamilton, Ontario, and I've got a baby and a 2-year-old, and they're stuck in the house with my wife. And I come home and like, I take care of them. I go out and I'm like on the beat of the cop, and I put on your DJ mix, and it takes me back to the last time I was at a rock concert. Thank you. And I'm like, don't thank me. Like, you actually have to go out and protect everybody, because that's the role that you chose earlier in your life, and now you're tasked with it. I'm just like putting music together because I love it, and I'm glad that there's an audience, but then I'm sitting there just like, this person's thanking me, and I feel so insignificant. But again, like, I guess because, you know, you and I are in the same boat, thank you to you and what you're doing, and you're staying positive and optimistic and keeping your listeners going in your audience, and then drawing a person like me where I'm just like, what the fuck else am I doing? You know what I mean? Like, my buddy John in Victoria on the other side of the country, 3 time zones behind. Even if it wasn't your birthday, I'd be here. And thank you for everything you're doing for everybody.
Jason Parsons, thanks, man. That's very well said. I'm going to tack on a few things there, which is that I have mentioned before, and I'll mention now, is that to highlight your piece about the DJ and the effect it can have on a cop and the kids and the dance party and that moment of positivity. This is what I've been saying in keeping a little notepad for me and in servicing the moments that I have in that negative subconscious. And I know I've spoken about this with Ash, your bandmate and best friend, many times in the past, is noting down those small victories, those small moments of awesome. So with the cop, for example, got home from a day, this is how he might write it in his notepad. So date it, time it. All right, 6 p.m. Got home after one hell of a day, threw on DJ Boitano's mix for getting through this strange time, threw on the Human Kebab remix. My family lost it. Daughter said, quote, "Who's a kebab and why is he human? I don't understand." Note that moment down, time it, and go back into that. So when you get back from that day and you sit and you stew in that energy and go, I'm exhausted and it's easier right now to beat myself up, that's when you grab this little notebook and you dive and delve into those moments that impacted you in a more positive and highlighted way. So then you're not getting caught in a sludge, you're going straight back into that, which is why I always find it interesting when people say, oh, I quit so-and-so exactly this day, this blah, 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 blah. I don't remember the days of those things that were truly harrowing. I remember a general month, but I don't transfix myself because I'll go straight back to that day. So if you're going to go back to a moment like that, then use that for the good, not the bad. Note down the good things in the book, go back to that, like the cop listening to Human Kebab and dancing after a day walk in the street and on the beat doing his thing. Another thing I'd like to add is and you've opened the door, so I'm going to walk into the room, is that when it comes to my fellow peers, because I know there are some of them watching right now in radio, they'll know, anyone that works with me knows that I am ridiculously intrigued and obsessed to an extent with radio and the perfection of it, which doesn't exist. I don't believe in perfection, but my goodness, do I push myself to be as good as I can every day. There's Toronto. That's the Toronto sound we miss. Yeah, finally.
With a shitty muffler.
You guys have Honda Civics there too. Confirmed.
Oh yeah, buddy, we're all the same.
My goodness, it's proof that Toronto is not Zombie Town yet. Honda Civics is still running and going strong. Thank you, Castrol. Anyway, here's the thing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Is that in this moment now, I'm adoring the challenge that it's presenting to, and it's a difficult one for all of us as individuals, as broadcasters, talking from a broadcaster perspective. Now more than ever, we are seeing the importance of truth and honesty. If you aren't confident, you know the detail you are being asked to share, get someone that can share it. And if not, start it by saying, I am not the pro here. These are the notes I've got from that. We don't all need to be experts. Radio for a long time, it's all about, we've got this song first and we got Jason to do this video for us and that station didn't. That doesn't matter right now. I'm not concerned about that at all. What I'm concerned about, the diligence in remembering the actual detail of the foundation of which you started opening your mouth to do in the first place. What was your point? How are you getting into it? How are you getting out of it? If you're not comfortable approaching it, don't until you're ready. Get someone else. Radio doesn't have to be the torchbearer of I'm the way or the highway. It's just got to be part of the community and click into the everyday mindset of everyone else, like you were saying. Now your guys in Toronto are talking about, here's what I'm doing in isolation. Jay Brody making great, hilarious videos, pretending to be in John Bon Jovi's band in isolation. Brilliant. But then at the same time, 15 minutes later, he goes in the air and says, this is flipping awkward. I didn't want to be in my apartment doing this. Right? It's being real and leading by example in that regard, not pretending to be what you're not. And my last thing I'm going to say is touching on the police thing and the positive memories and the importance of facts and how we present as broadcasters. The last thing I'm going to say is, I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
And I really appreciate you being involved in tonight. And yeah, I mean, I've just realized I've got a second guest. And I should get to him in a second here. But is there any, if I give you 2 more minutes here to think of some closing statements whilst I make some sort of other thing, are you willing for one more closing statement off the dome, freestyle, human kebab?
I just can't get over the fact that back in 2005, when I met Ash Buchholz, my bandmate in USS, that we were so excited about making this music that we thought never existed. And we did it in my parents' basement in Stouffville, Ontario. And we met another gentleman that helped us record it. And we put out this music and we put out a record and we didn't know what we were doing. And the first single off of that album made it onto the Zone 91.3 in Victoria, British Columbia. And we came out there and played a show. And it was in the pouring rain, and 800 people showed up on Broad Street for the Fringe Festival. And the stage was so wet that the both of us almost broke our necks sliding around because we couldn't get over the energy. Like we were just like, we'd never been to British Columbia ever as a band. And now we're playing in the pouring rain for 800 people. And some of those same people at your radio station are still there, and they're still the flag bearers of our band. And now you enter 3 years after that in 2011, we become friends. Now your story has taken on a life of its own. And now we're almost waxing poetic on humanity at a time when we all kind of need it. And I'm grateful for this. If it all ends and all we're left with is this phone call, I'm just grateful that I got to meet you. I got to know everyone in Victoria. I got to come to your radio station. We got to have heartfelt conversations, and it was all because of music. And we come from completely different worlds, but we're the same people. And I love that. So I love you.
Thank you very much. I love you too, man. That's wonderful. Oh my goodness. Oh,
Ubiquitous synergy seeker.
Oh.
Ubiquitous synergy seeker.
Oh.
Ubiquitous synergy seeker. University joke turned alias.
Oh, it's human kebab, everybody.
University joke turned alias.
It's human kebab. And you do that first show and you're stuck with it.
You're making me beat up grass.
Anyway, let's not get started. Let's not get started on Rocket, for goodness sake. So, was that your last passionate spiel, or you still want me to make a beat and do something?
No. Yeah, that's it. That's it, man. You should probably get your second guest.
Awesome. Well, he's just as zany and wonderful as you, but he's a little bit closer to us. He's in BC, so that's why I said to him politely, "Could you go second?" Because I want to make sure that Jason gets to bed. Because one thing that you're doing effectively right now is making sure that you get your 12 3/4 hours sleep every night, best possible.
Oh wow, that's ambitious, John.
Well, that's the research I did said that is that not the right thing? Am I rattling around the wrong cupboard? You go, yes. You're a 4-hour burner, aren't you? You like little 4-hour naps, little 4-hour kebab naps.
Sometimes.
But you like the barbecue
It
up?
depends.
Like that barbecue,
I
your ribs
go
are done in
6 to
3.
8. Hey, you know what? You know how I was playing for your listeners, the quietness of the city? Well, for the first time since the pandemic started, I just saw a parking enforcement officer drive past my house. So I guess the silence is about to be broken over here, John.
What does that mean? Someone's going to get towed?
No. To be honest, they've actually been pretty tame about parking tickets. I've noticed in the city because it's interesting because the Toronto Raptors victory parade, which was the exact opposite of the pandemic. The Toronto police were very lax about everything because they wanted people to enjoy it. And I had a whole newfound level of respect for the city of Toronto and the municipal government and the cops, how they just let people pour it on the streets because it was just a beautiful, harmonious, peaceful celebration of the Toronto Raptors. And then now it's the opposite and people are treating it the same way. Like people are respecting, what the government's telling us. Like the premier of our province, everybody's just chill. And it's very nice to see. Very nice to see.
Oh boy, that is good to see. It's strange to hear it. It's strange to process it every time. It's like, this is great. It should be like that, but it's strange that we're talking about it. But that's where we're at right now.
But like you said, man, it's our civic duty to keep entertaining and to keep being the voices that are out there. And much like you, I try to respond to as many people as I can because we're all going through this together, no matter what our role is in society. And I don't know, man, I just love the camaraderie. So
yeah. Well, before you go, Zia said, spreading the joy and love. Sarah said, thank you, Jason. Oh, my microphone is covered in so many cats. Vanessa said, you guys are making me cry. Lindsay said, I'm grateful for this. 3 heart emojis. Not 1, Jason, not 2, but 3. That's not one sound effect. I have a second, in case you didn't like that, a third, and you've always got to have a 4th up your sleeve. Kyla has sent 7 different dolphins. Kyla, I've only got 4 ones. I can't do 7 dolphins, okay? But thank you, guys. Just fill the comment feed right now with dolphin emojis, and we will be so happy. I want to see at least 35 dolphins in the comment section within 2 minutes, because there is a 38-second delay.
You should tell your listeners that going forward that you should start doing a telethon for dolphin emojis. See how many you can get, and then somehow come up with a donation scheme, and then we'll just give it to like some charity in Victoria.
Yeah, it's clearly a lot of work to flesh out there. Thank you. Lots. You've given me quite a lot of work to do with that one. Thanks. Here, take this idea, which is essentially a speck of dust in this giant sphere we call Earth and all particles around it, and make that happen. Let's go. Make that dust stand out.
Somebody in Victoria will be hitting Command V for 2 days. Like their partner will tape their fingers to their keyboard so they have like 150 million dolphins, and then you and I will have to get together and decide A, how we're going to get the money, and B, who we're going to donate it to.
Oh my goodness. You have to, when we hang up, go and check the comment section, because I didn't know there was this many dolphin emojis we could use on our phones. Wow, I see 5 different variants. This is amazing. Jeff, Lindsay, Aaron, Malcolm, Jasmine, Catherine, Claire, Sarah, Nick, Chris. Chris almost gave us the 35 in one post. My goodness, thank you, Chris.
If you congregate with your other zoner staff, like if you get Boitano and like Paul Plastino, and you guys talk about the dolphin donation bin, like, and then I've got it out east, we're gonna be like Sea Shepherd, but just on keyboards.
What do they call oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to learn dolphin. I'm gonna have to learn whatever the dolphin click. I'm not sure what they call it now.
Oh, dolphin click would be wicked. So the Buffalo Bills, which is our closest NFL team, you guys obviously are Seahawks. The Bills' biggest rivalry out here is against the Miami Dolphins, and they call it Squish the Fish. But we don't want to do that because we want the fish to live on our keyboards and our screens.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So anyways, Control V is the paste command on a MacBook. I think it's actually, sorry, it's Command V on Mac and it's Control V on PC. So hey, telethoners, fellow telethoners, I'm jogging on the spot right now. Control V on the PC, Command V on a Mac. Let's go. Here we go. Let's get going on.
This is going so over my head. I thought you were telling me to start. I was like, okay, Command V. No, I'm the one asking for the dolphin.
No, we got to get the listeners involved so we can figure out how many dolphins there are and who we got to donate to.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got so many comments coming in. I'm sure we'll have to. We'll think on it. We'll sleep on it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go, and thank you so much for your time. Yeah. How much time did you give me? 50 minutes? Oh my gosh, 48 minutes and 13 seconds.
We're almost at an hour.
Amazing. Well, I really, really appreciate it, man, and lots of love to you and yours, and thank you so much for your time again. It's just so kind of you, and it was just a real thrill to catch up with you.
Absolutely, and happiest of birthdays, of course. I remember when I turned 23; it was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I've just got a notification that Strombo's on at the same time. Move over, George. No, don't move over, George. Sorry, George.
Hey, Jorge, move over. William is John is in town. I don't know. That was a really shitty. That wasn't even close to Mexican accent.
Let's wrap it with that, shall we? Yeah.
How neat is that?
What was that? But it was pretty neat, wasn't it?
That's pretty
terrible.
Neat.
Jason, I love you. Thank you so much, man.
You too, buddy. Thank you very much.
I'll speak to you soon, mate.
All right. See you, John.
Bye.
Bye.
What a wonderful, wonderful soul.